Our ultimate goal is to grow as much produce for the city as possible in the city. And the amount of space, the amount of demand, the amount of ability makes that quite a feasible goal in our mind. My name is Mitch Hagney. I'm from New Hampshire. I've been in San Antonio like 7 years. Well, I am Chief Executive Officer of Local Sprout, but what that primarily means is I am a farmer and I sell my produce around the city at farmers markets, restaurants, any really place that people are interested in buying good fresh produce. I'm there.
Those are edible flowers. All brassicas, bok choy included, produces flowers that are edible and they're very sweet, but with the kind of overall kind of broccoli overtone of a flavor. Very nice. For a salad garnish, it really can't be beat by much.
So Local Sprout, the title is the conception that we have acres of land that are available in urban environments, and it's quite possible to create good sustainable agriculture anywhere that there's available space. So we can sprout things locally here and with all sorts of different technologies. Over the last year or so, we've started to play around with the idea of using large vacant lots, using space that wouldn't normally be considered just like these shipping containers. Now we're seeing an intersection, and at least what we do, of huge amounts of good technology. We'll use advanced lighting, use really efficient water conversions, but also going to places where those technologies wouldn't normally be available, like large vacant lots or urban areas. So this is the second container. This is the first one that I've built entirely from scratch. If these types of technologies are viable to produce a huge volume of food, then they can be replicated really cheaply elsewhere throughout the city and throughout the world. Since this small area of about 100 square feet can produce over 1,000 plants, seems like not a bad way to do it. Yeah, the food bank has a cool vision. They want no one in the city to be hungry, and that's a vision that a lot of us share. They have a huge amount of property out west in between 10 and 90, and those 20 acres that they have, they actually are trying to cultivate a large amount of produce on that area. And so we came in 2 years ago and said, hey, we've noticed that you have a greenhouse on your property and you have area that you'd like to cultivate. We'll grow a certain amount on your property, and in exchange for that, we'll pay a percentage of everything that we can make that comes out of this area. And so over the course of our 2 years, we've donated over $10,000. But donation probably isn't the correct term, because it's not just out of charity, it's because partnerships have to be sustainable and profitable. And this is a good example of an amazing organization building a revenue generation wing that will keep them in business even in tough times. So the next couple of years, we are going to play around with a couple different business models in addition to producing and selling directly. We manage this warehouse and we want to cultivate as much of a food ecosystem as possible, where we can get vendors and producers into this area and connect them to local farms to make sure that their products are made from things that are regionally appropriate or regionally productive. We also are seeking to use spaces outside of just our individual farm to be productive, and that oftentimes will mean going to restaurants, building gardens there in order to support their menus themselves. There's so many places around the east side that are burgeoning, quickly developing, and we have to be really prudent about the way that we choose to allow this place to develop. It is the fastest changing part of the city. What businesses we choose to incentivize and choose to support to come and stay here, those have to be really intentional. And so the food that's here can be productive. We can actually grow food on these spaces, these vacant lots, these warehouses. And the restaurants that we support can be community players where they bring events in for the residents of the area. They can buy directly from folks like us that are close, community oriented. But the key is for us to be intentional about what communities we're trying to develop. Sustainability is the thing that I prioritize, but it's not the thing that all of us should. I want a burgeoning music community to be here. I want a burgeoning arts community to be here. And the only way for us to do that is by supporting those that are around us who share that vision of a place where we want to be.